right. Let's get started. Hello everyone, and by everyone I mean the 3 people watching right now. So going to be super informal, going over various things in the toolset for the Divinity Engine 2. What you're seeing right now is a place where I was creating and customizing creatures and NPCs, which I will then upload into the GM client, or save in the GM client, or mode I suppose it's called, to allow me to use them in campaigns. As you can see, I managed to get a goblin. I'll go over this sort of thing in a little bit, but to start with, I think we should just go over the absolute basics, since I realize that this toolset can be a little daunting to look at to start. So, from the beginning, let's start with creating a level. So when you just start, you're going to have this option to choose what sort of level you want. You can either do basic or empty. Copying allows you to choose an asset that's already been created. But for now, we're just going to do an empty one. I'm going to call it, I don't know. I do need to make a new village, so we'll just call it village small. Great. So this might look a little strange. There's nothing here. It's just like the Matrix. It's just a whole blank space. So the reason why this is blank is because there's no terrain. You need to create a terrain object. My terrain window is on the side here. I decided to pin it, make everything collapsible. It makes everything really easy to kind of keep track of. But if you don't have it to start, you can just click the terrain panel button right here. And the way to create a new terrain, and all the buttons you need are at the top. We want to create new, and a little plus button. Create new terrain. This is the size. Be careful, something that's just going up to 3 is absolutely massive. A good thing to do is just start with 1, kind of get a feel for how big it is. You can adjust the size of a map on the fly later. And now we need terrain material. Let me pull over my resource manager. I keep this on my other monitor. So this is the resource manager. This is just all the resources that are available in the game. It's textures, it's models, it's all sorts of things. This is where you will get everything. You can access this through... I don't actually remember. Just clicking this button here when you're choosing a material, it will bring up the resource manager. Keep it open while you're going to need it for pretty much everything. So, we've created we're going to start creating our terrain object. We need to choose a material for it. So terrain material, I was often confused because I saw texture resource and I saw, oh look, I can see the textures, the things here. Let's go to shared. Let's go to assets, then materials. Textures, I suppose. So this is also things like soil and mud. This isn't what you want. You want this. It's a material resource. And you can isolate this by right-clicking these categories. If you right-click twice, you select everything again. So when I choose a material resource, this is going to be what the base terrain is made out of. Let's just do something easy like sand. And I like to use the search function. It's super easy. We'll just go shared sand. Let's do, I don't know, soil, sand, wavy large. Sure. And you click the little green arrow to assign it. That is going to be the material that our terrain is made out of. Okay. I'm going to move the resource manager to my other monitor. I'll bring it back over when needed. And feel free to ask questions along the way. I'm really not concerned about it. I'll help as much as I can. Also, if my mic volume or the music's too loud, just let me know. So right now we made it out of our sand. This is what we chose. Unfortunately, the preview option is a little janky, so it might be kind of hit or miss. You can change this whenever you want. But to start, just a basic ground point is okay. So this is the floor of your map. And you're thinking, well, what if I don't want it to be sand? Or what if I want it to be like sand and rocks and things? Well, that's terrain decoration, but we'll get to that in a second. For now, we want to do deformation. So what that is, I'm going to pin this terrain window. Oh, makes the screen smaller. What this is essentially these options on the top right here allow you to change the way the terrain looks. Don't worry about the squares, that just means it's unedited. As soon as you edit something, it goes away. So we can raise the terrain with this raise terrain tool. You can lower it as well. There is flatten, so if you've made a mistake, you can go back, choose some flat terrain, bring your mouse over it, and it'll flatten everything out. And then there is smooth. So smooth is very handy if you're making something very steep and you want to make it look a little more natural, so you kind of use this smooth terrain around it. It kind of makes things a little more rounded. And slopes. Slopes are very helpful for city settings. So for example, let's say we had a city and half of it was on a cliff. So we'll raise the terrain a bit, get it to the height we want. We'll do the flatten tool. We'll choose the point we want to flatten. Blah. There's the plateau. Don't worry about the black here. It's just because these shadows are a little strange. And then we'll smooth terrain to make it rounded. And we need a way for people to get up there. So we'll choose the ramp tool. You hold left click where you want, so at the top, and you can create a ramp to wherever you need. Boom. And it creates a little walkway for you. And if you want to smooth it out, you can just do it multiple times. There you go. That's how you make a ramp. So now that we have our cliff, we want it to look a little different. We don't want it to just be sand. So the way this works is you select your terrain, clicking here. This is the whole terrain object. And then we want to go to the resource manager, which is back here. And we want to choose a material type. So let's do grass. Got all these options. Sometimes you can get previews here. I'll turn the music down a bit. Okay. So we want some grass. Let's just do some regular grass. Boosh. Regular grass. So that you've chosen the object in the resource manager. You have the terrain. Click plus. Boop. Are you sure you want to add the following layers to terrain? Yes. So we have our terrain layer. Put the resource manager back over. So we have our object that we just put in, the material. And then we have paint terrains, along with the other terrain options. This is just going to be painting. If you want to change things like brush size, you can right-click on that option. You can right-click on pretty much any option above here to augment the options. So I want it to be a strength of, let's say, 8. Make it super strong. The strength is how fast it applies. If you want it to be more sporadic, you lower it. Let's do somewhere in the middle. Okay. For brush size, I use the brackets. You can use left bracket to small, right bracket, but I want a lot of grass. I don't need my whole terrain object highlighted here. Second. Deselect. Okay. So let's paint some grass. Ah, that looks weird. See, I chose the wrong grass object. This will happen. I chose an actual model instead of a texture, so you can delete this by right-clicking. Get rid of that. And you can delete something you don't want by clicking the minus button. Nope. So let's choose an actual grass object, shall we? What do we want? Ah, here we go. Try this one. Yep. Nope, that's also wrong. Okay. Oops, that's not a material resource. Let's do... That's rock, cave. Let's try this one. Why isn't that working? That's very strange. Make sure my brush settings are right here. No, that's right. I'm not entirely sure why this isn't working. Aha, there we go. I had the wrong thing selected. So, we chose some grass. This is some soil earth grass. It's got TR in front of it, so it's for terrain. So we can paint some grass here. And that's essentially how terrain goes. Just kind of experiment and see what looks good. Let's get some more soil. There's some forest soil. Let's try this one. There we go. It's leafy. As I said before, if you want your terrain to be a different strength, let's lower it quite a bit so it's more sporadic. We can do smaller brush. There you go. Some bits of leaves kind of sticking through. It might look a bit strange as you're starting, but once you add more layers and you decorate with rocks and bushes and trees and things like that, it starts to look really good. So just keep at it. Try and stick with what looks natural. If this is a cliff, make the edges like rocky. If this is a grassy walkway, you might want to do something dry. Let's do some soil. Dry soil. Apply. So let's say this is a walkway. We can kind of make it a little bit smaller. There we go. That's how you do terraining. And you can add as many layers as you want. The more, the better. If you have any confusion about what looks natural, just kind of look up screenshots from the game. They've done a wonderful job texturing and just kind of getting a feel for it. Some more. Right here. There we go. We've got some leaves and dispersed without grass. Alright, so that's texturing. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. It's fine. So that's pretty much all there is for terrain. Now what we want is some decorations and objects. Skip ahead of this bit. So the way objects work is they're called instances. So let's say we want some, I don't know, let's do some regular bushes. So we're going to go to the instance painter, click, and this window will show up. And once again, we need our resource manager. So make sure you have your resource manager open, has everything available. This one also wants material resources, but you want to make sure they are actual objects. So let's do bush. Anything that doesn't start with TR is generally an object. You can also tell by the preview on the right side here that'll show kind of what you're looking at. So bush fern. Let's do a fern. So when you have what you want, you make sure you click it. You click the arrow on the top left here, import visual. Why didn't that work? Oh, it's not a visual. Sorry. This is what you want. The little lamp up the top here. These are just objects, essentially. So now you can see what we got here. So let's do do bush fern, add. Let's do another bush fern. Let's do... What about a smaller bush, like a nettle? Could we do some grass? Those are rocks, we don't want that. Reed, grass red, regular grass, there we go. Oh, so what I'm doing is I'm just adding these to the instance painter, and we can kind of play with them later. So I'm going to bring my resource manager back to my other monitor. So the sidebar shows the properties of our instance objects, but within the instance painter tool there will be a separate set of settings, so don't get confused with that. A really good thing to have turned on is random rotation Y. This will make it so anything you paint will be basically facing different directions as you paint it, because you don't want to put a whole bunch of trees down and have them all facing the same way, because that's not how nature works. So let's do a fern. Let's just do basic grass. So we do random rotation Y. I want the grass to be able to be a little bit bigger, so we'll do scale max 1.1. I want it to be a little bit smaller, so let's do 0.8. Okay. And we paint. The paintbrush option is right up here. Everything you need to use instances is in the instance panel. So we paint instances. Now this brush might look kind of massive, but remember you can use the brackets on your keyboard, this left bracket to make it smaller, and right bracket to make it bigger. So we want a little bit less. Oh, one last thing I forgot. The flow determines how rapidly and how dense something is placed. So if you want it to be really, really dense and super quick, you can do 100. I don't recommend that because stuff overlaps, but I'll go into that in a second, so we'll just stick with 20. So let's do some grass along our edges here. So we'll just do stuff like this. You can hold down left click if you want, but tapping allows you to have a little bit more control. There we go, that's how you do grass. I want it to be placed a little bit faster, so let's bring it up to 50. There you go. If you want a whole swath of grass, you can just turn it up and get ridiculous amounts. If you've made a mistake, it's super easy. Just right-click to delete what you don't want. So let's add some grass to the edge of our little path here. Oh, don't want it on the path. I'm gonna right-click to get rid of that. Add some more on the side here. Alright, so we've got some grass. Looks fine. But nature isn't made up of all one thing, so we want to add some different things. So let's do fern. I've got some ferns here and there, not too many. Oh, I didn't turn on. Let's get rid of these. My mistake. To make it a little more natural, different sizes. Let's do 1.2 again. Bring this down to 0.8, just so they're varied as you're painting. Got some smaller ones. Got some. Oh, and again, I forgot random rotation Y, just so they're not all facing the same direction. There we go. That's much better. We got some ferns and some different ferns. Let's do one up here. One there. Oh, looks like it's floating. The way you can fix floating, if you ever have that problem, you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this instance painter panel, and you do remove floating. And remove duplicates. Make sure you have what you want to edit to be selected. So let's remove duplicates of grass as well. There we go. Just cleans things up, makes it less laggy. Let's go back to the fern. Oop. Kind of like them placed in the grass. Looks pretty good. Let's do a couple of nettles to make some variety. Alright, so we've got a little vegetation path here. So one thing that's really cool to know is if you have a nice mishmash of stuff. So let's do, we want fern, we want nettle, we want grass. Let's add one more thing here. I'm going to go to my resource manager. Let's do rock. I want a small rock. And you can do keywords, so you can do rock small. And it'll just do, there you go, some small rocks. Let's add that. Bring this back over. And we'll select that one as well. So now when we paint, let's make the brush a bit bigger. When we paint, it'll do a random set of everything that we've selected here. So it'll be a lot easier to do a bunch of things at the same time. So if you're doing something like a thick forest floor, you can just load up your tool with a bunch of objects that would make sense for your region, and then just kind of go to town. You can do a lot of cover a lot of ground with this. Anyway, don't go overboard though, because you don't want to detract from the area by having things that don't make sense. Like, you don't want trees right next to each other. Like, this whole area has got a lot of nettles, so I'll just select the nettle and kind of get rid of a few of these. If you select everything in here, scroll all the way to the bottom, remove floating, remove duplicates. There we go. The game just kind of tidies it up for you. That's pretty much everything you need to know about terrain. We've done raising and lowering with the tools at the top here, painting the actual terrain with this tool over here. You can edit brushes by right-clicking, and you can add objects with the instance painter. Alright, so that's how you do nature things. Now we want to add objects. And one of the most common objects are NPCs and things. I personally plan to handle my NPCs in the GM mode. It's just a lot easier to work with. This is for more fine-tuning and scripting. It's totally up to you. But if you want to add any object, what you do is you go, I'm going to close this instance panel here. So these options to the right are how you manipulate objects that are on the map. So we want to add, a little plus sign, add, place a new object, right click for options. I don't need to right click for now. So we have these root templates folder on the bottom. I don't believe this is open by default. This is how you access the resource manager, and this is the root template. So if you ever need these items, you can click up here to get access to them. The crayon box is the resource manager. That's pretty clever. Alright, so the root templates has everything. They're all separated into categories. For actual objects, it doesn't really matter. Anything in the root templates folder is an object. So let's say we want a tree. Let's do a tree. Elven treehouse. Let's not do a treehouse. Let's just do a tree trunk. So we click that, and because we have this selected to place object, we'll be able to see the tree trunk, and then we can place it. Boop. And that's as simple as that. That's how you put things in the world. I want to do a different tree. Let's do forest slate rockstrip. Whoa, that is massive. Holy cow. I've used this toolset for about 12 hours, so you'll probably see that reaction a bit. Oh, these are prefabs. Anything with a P next to it is a prefab. It's something that the devs have made and saved as a group. So this is just actually a bunch of trees and rocks that they put together. Spirit tree, that's kind of cool. Tree ancestor. Let's do a nice pretty tree up here. Plump. If you ever want to rotate something, as you're placing, hold left click, and then you can move your mouse to rotate. I don't want to though, so click and delete. If you want to rotate something after you've placed it, it's a little wanky. Janky is what I meant. Click on the object and we want the rotate tool up here. And you can use these circles to make it how you want. I'm gonna lean back slightly. Height is with these little, the one right above it. Basically the round arrow for rotation and the cardinal direction ones. You can do height, you can place it in the ground, you can do above, do one halfway. There we go. And this can look really good if you combine it with the tools you already have so far. So let's go back to the instance painter. Let's go back up. Let's put some stuff around this tree, huh? There we go. And since we don't want the entire road to look crazy. Oh, the reason the tree looks blue is because I still have it selected. You can just right-click, deselect all. Alright. Oh, you've got a little forest path leading up to a tree. This works the same for NPCs and things. You can do like goblin. If you click on something and it doesn't look like you can place it, just remember you have to have place object selected. Look, there's a goblin. Man, is that a big goblin? Is that just me? Let's do NPC. Female guard. That's a big goblin. Huh. Alright. Pretty cool. So that's how you place objects. Now we want to edit objects. So let's say this tree is supposed to be a super important tree and you decorate it with lights and like deer and all sorts of cool things to make it look fancy, but it's not big enough. Let's get rid of this instance painter. Well, this needs to be a super awesome elder elven tree. You click on it and your sidebar will show all the properties of the tree. You can say, scale. There we go. Let's make it bigger. 1.5. Boom. There we go. Giant tree. Beautiful. This works for NPCs as well. For example, if you had, I don't know, let's do an ogre. No? Troll? Okay, creature's troll. So you put a troll in game. But you want it to be a boss. So you click on him, scroll down, scale. Let's make it 2. Boosh. That's a big troll. So a little dwarf starter guy next to it. Alright. I suppose that's a good transition to go into editing NPCs. So, let me save this. I'm going to swap levels. I'm going to file, load level. I'm going to go to GM assets. The GM assets level for me is where I'm going to basically save all the stuff I need as a GM, and then while I'm in GM mode, I can load this level, grab them or save them, and then use them in the campaign kind of on the fly. So I've edited and placed a bunch of stuff here already. I made some cool barbarians. These are supposed to be orcs in my campaign, quote unquote, but sadly the orc models aren't in game. I did add this little goblin, so I'll be able to use goblins in the GM mode, which is nice. He looks smaller. That's because I set his scale to 0.7. I wanted it to be kind of a traditional goblin. So the way you edit NPCs, let's just do human. Let's do a female guard. So one thing you want to note in this game is the type of appearance available to NPCs is dependent on the base. For example, a female civilian will only have clothing options like dresses, bodices, shirts, that sort of thing. She won't be able to wear armor because her base is a civilian and assigned to her is the clothing thing. Female guard will only be able to wear armor. So if you want to have the different looks for different NPCs, you can go off of a different base. Doesn't really matter, just kind of make sure you're aware of that. So let's make this guard have, I don't know, let's make a really badass looking lady tank. So I'm gonna go female paladin melee. Oosh. She already looks cool, but I want her to be red. Click. And we scroll up. So this is all the stats of the character, but we want to edit the base. Change your name. We'll say paladin. I don't know. Destroyer. Oh, I know. How about smiter? That's cool. This is going to be her name in the template. So let's see, paladin smiter. Don't change root template because this is what the base of the creature is. Visual set indices. This is how you change the way something looks. Click, little 3-dot box on the left, right side here, and then you get access to pretty much everything that makes them look the way they do. Sometimes this can be a little buggy. Just either reload the level or kind of work with it. It's fine. Most of the time it works fine. So let's change your helmet. First random visual looks like hair helmet. Okay, okay. Again, what is available to an NPC is determined by their base. If you don't like these helmet options, you're going to have to choose a different base one. So I'm actually going to go for a different human female here. Let's do... Is there human armor? Human female armor. Just a flat... There we go. It's a bit different. Same thing, visual set indices, little 3-button thing. Gonna zoom in, right click to hold on right click to change the zoom, middle mouse button to change height, and left click to do the angle. Takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm still not entirely used to it myself. Alright, so let's see your hair. So these don't actually give you previews. This is just a way to see what's available, but I like to use the arrows to scroll through. Oh, I like the hood. Let's do that. Okay, so her armor kind of clips with the hood, so let's change that. Oh, this is her face. A nice stern looking face. That'll do. Armor! Alright. I like that. It's very, roguey looking. Ooh, that's fancy. Let's do that rogue armor. Looks good. This looks like the gloves. Okay. Oh, I think this one matches. Yeah, that looks really good. Let's do pants. Ooh. There we go. Got some vials and things on there. Little dagger holsters. I like that. And boots. Something a little less clunky, I think. Let's do these slightly armored ones. That's cool. Alright, so that's our armor. What is this? Oh, it's the waistcoat thing, the coat tail. Yeah, let's keep that. Looks good. Skin. If you want to see skin colors, you scroll all the way over. Skin, all that's available. Let's make her a little tan. There we go. Hair. Purple. Let's give it black hair. Armor. I want her to be red. How about a nice blue? Oh, that's the actual leather, so I don't want the leather to be a weird color. Let's make it a nice brown. Darker brown. There we go. Scroll through here. Or a nice green, maybe. That'd be nice. Ooh. Kind of clashes a bit. Yeah, I like the green. And then this is... Oh, this is the metal. Okay, that's nice. Maybe a nice silver. Ah, you silver. Sadly, the tabs don't seem to go all the way over, so for the last couple of colors, you're just gonna have to scroll through. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's more of a blue silver, isn't it? Let's see if we can add a nice gray. Brown. So many colors. Hello, new people joining. Feel free to ask questions. I'm going over editing NPCs right now. I've already done... I like the bronze. It looks good. Save. And there she is. That's the character we just made. And you can copy and paste to add more if you want. But yeah, for those just joining, we've already gone over editing terrain. I am recording this, so I'll post it again after I'm done. So that's how you add and edit NPCs and any object, really. Remember, you can change categories by left-clicking on what you want to add, right-clicking to isolate, or double-click to choose everything. Alright, so that is NPCs and terrain. Alright, another big one that we should tackle next is buildings, because buildings are kind of a big thing. So let's go somewhere that I'm already working on. I'm going to save this. File, load level. Silver City's town small. I think this is it. Yeah. This campaign is going to be set in Ashan. It's a Might and Magic campaign. It's going to be pretty massive, so we'll be working on it in a while. So this is one I just started working on this morning before I got distracted by things. I have this cool little tower house thing with an interior. Ooh, fancy. Oh, water. I didn't go over water. Let's do that. So what this water is, it's actually an object. So what I did is I went lower terrain, and you can see the water appearing. That's because the object of the water is set at a level slightly below the terrain. So pretend the water isn't here. I lower the terrain. You go to place object. You can search here. Water. You want a water plane. A little laggy while it's loading. You can see even like the skill book stuff is all here. All items in the game are here. We want... Let's do water river. No, that doesn't work. Oh, they're over there. Okay, so some of these are pre-made water models used for the campaign. You can kind of avoid those. Water cave is a bit big. We don't want that. Let's do something. Water ocean, no. Water swamp, no. Water lake, no. Water river. Water swamp. Environment. Aha, I think that's what we want. Dripping water, waterfall. Water essence. All sorts of water. Surface water. Water cave. Aha, here we go. So we choose the water we want. And it looks like it's just a square. So we put it down. No, that's not right. Delete this. Delete. A little bit of trial and error while I'm learning things. Apologies. Seaplane. No. I don't know what that is. Okay, maybe we missed it. What is this object? I guess I can just click it to find out. This is Waterplane GM Hub. Let's just do Water GM. Aha! There we go. Yay, search bar. Deselect that water. Let's do water, area, forest, generic. Okay, so we have our little square. We place it down. We select it. And look, we have our little water level. But it's not big enough. So what we do is we check this tool. This is the scale objects. And it'll give you these little arrows. This works for everything, by the way. You can change the scale, like if I want this dwarf to be bigger. Oh, that doesn't work because he's a test thing. Just add a random NPC here. Loop. Click. Scale. Make bigger. It works for everything. Alright, so we click our water. Where is it? Scale. And make it the size of the level. A bit smaller. We move it with these tools. This is essentially what I did for the water that's already here. And you place it a little bit below. And that's how water works. It's just an object placed below. I don't want that hole to be there, so let's get rid of that. Bloop. Okay, so back to our original purpose. Let's do a building. So I've got this one. I want to do another little house. This is going to be kind of a desert culture. So we want to place a wall object to go. This is this thing that looks like bricks here. Right click to just click that. It's construction. Anything with this icon can be edited with the wall editor tool. It makes building way faster. I originally was placing objects that look like walls in like copy pasting and kind of angling them to make it look like a house, and I just thought to myself, this just can't be the way they do it. It's so slow. But that's not how they do it. They do it this way. So I'll show you. Let's do castle house. What does this look like? Let's do a bunch of different ones. That looks like it's mostly interior. Castle house 5B. That looks like it's the same stone as this one. It just doesn't have the wood interior. Castle house 5H. Oh, that's a different stone. That might be cool. Castle house B. Okay, okay. Oh, that's small. I don't know what that is. Is there city house? I think that's what we used. Oh, it's a small wall. I like to do this just to kind of experiment to see what is available and what kind of aesthetic I want. Alright, so let's see what these are. So, when you have wall objects on your map, a new button will appear. This one is called Edit Wall. Click Edit Wall, and then you hold left click on a wall, and you drag your mouse. I'm like, oh, it's just so much easier than I thought it would be. Let's bring this around. Let's bring this around. Let's make this like kind of a longer house. We'll drag this up. The walls meet. Bloop. There we go. So we've got a little house. So this doesn't look quite right because it's all mismatched. Make sure you still have the wall edit selected. Click and you can roll your mouse, hold control, sorry, and roll your mouse. So you'll be able to rotate through the various objects available. Let's do some windows. So hold control, left click, and then roll your mouse. This one has rounded corners. I think we can do square corners in this one. I want windows though. There we go, that's cool. Click, hold control, mouse wheel. Click, hold control, mouse wheel. Alright, so we've got a little base. The interior looks very similar aesthetically to this. Cool. We'll still have sand as our carpet. We'll fix that in a bit. So now how do we give it a roof? No, door. That's also important. Let's do a door. Click on the section of wall you want. Right click and create door. Boom. And then if you want to rotate through the door models available, same thing. Hold control, mouse wheel. And then it just kind of looks like we only have 2 available. I don't know why that gap is there. That's very strange. Ah, I don't know what that is. Interesting. So that's how you do a base. Now we want to add a roof. So there are 2 ways to do a roof. There's a wrong way, and there's a super easy way. So I'll show you the wrong way first. I'm going to change the soundtrack here. Let's do Gothic 3. Well, that's a good soundtrack. Alright, welcome new people. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going over building houses right now. A quick recap. In your roots template, you want to choose the type of wall you want. Make sure you have the place new object selected. And then you click, and it'll paste the object. And if you want to edit the wall, click the wall, and you do the edit wall object button on the left here. And you hold left click and drag. Kind of create these wall objects. I won't actually use this one, but yeah. If you ever want to change the way a wall looks, like this one doesn't look quite right, you left click, hold control, mouse wheel, and you change the models on the wall. This one doesn't have a whole lot of variety, unfortunately. This one does. Let's go back here. So we have some windows, got some sticky out bits, looks nice. Oh, if you ever have this problem, right click. Oh, that doesn't work on corners. Just scroll through here. Bloop. If you ever have a problem where a wall is facing the wrong way, you can right click and do flip wall. It was just driving me nuts the other day. Right, roofs. So we go roof. Wooden house roof. Place. That's a reference. That's also a reference. That is not a reference. Okay, so let's do... This is how I used to do roofs. This is the wrong way. I will show you the right way right after this. So we place it here. And then we go edit wall. Drag. Like, oh no. Okay, I guess it goes this way. No, I need to go out one more. And then bring it over. Then bring it over. No, no. This isn't working. There we go. Alright, so there's our roof. An architectural feat right there. Again, if you want to rotate things, click the piece you want, hold control, mouse wheel, and you'll rotate. But the problem is, that's facing the wrong way. Flip wall. There we go. I want this to be intact. There. So this is the hard way. This is definitely something you can do, but I don't recommend it. I can't think of a reason why you would do it like this. Maybe for new, because then you have to click the roof you've just made, go to the movement tools, kind of hopefully place it where you want. I mean, there's a building, I suppose. So let's delete that and do the easy way. So we click our wall, we have everything selected, we go Control C, Control V. Hey look, a duplicate. Scooch this over, line it up as best we can. I think that's pretty good. Oh, let's move the corner there. Oh. Alright. Oh, we can actually get rid of this section of wall here. Edit wall. Click. Delete. I'll make these meet. Ah, this is the problem I was talking about before. If you just can't seem to get the wall to match with everything else, right click, flip wall. Perfect. Double windows, that's pretty. Where's double? There we go. So, now you're wondering, I thought we were making a roof. Well, we are making a roof, because you select the second wall you just made. You go to root template ID. You click, you type in roof, and you choose what you want. And let's do city house roof. Okay, boosh. Automatically creates a roof for you. Want to edit it? Go here, click. Oh, balcony, why not? There. That is the easiest way to make a roof. So again, you copy the bottom floor, raise it up with the movement tools, you change the root template ID. The root template ID just determines what your object is. If you change that, it'll just change pretty much everything about the object. So that's how you do roofs. Let's say I don't really want this roof, so let's try a different one. Root template, roof, castle house roof. Let's try that one. Holy cow. That's all inverted. We have our edit wall. Go through. Ah, I don't know what that corner is supposed to be. Let's do that. This side. And then edit this side. Again, the way we're editing is you hold control and you mouse wheel. Add the one with the... Are those supposed to be parapets or like supports or something? I don't know. I think they're supposed to be supports. Oh, you know what we could do? We could do standalone wall pieces underneath here to make it look like they're actually supports. Okay, we've got a door. And that's how you make houses. That is the easiest way to make a house, at least. Let's experiment with these walls, see what they look like. Looks like it's got interior pieces. Very similar to the last one, it's just a different model. This is just slightly taller, it looks like. Oh, and the scaling thing I mentioned earlier with NPCs, you can actually do that with these as well. So if you want this to just be bigger and you don't want to rebuild the entire thing, click the bottom floor, control click the top so you have both selected. Oh, actually, no, that doesn't work. Never mind. You have to do a select all, which is the mouse option here. Drag and drop. Make sure you don't have the land selected because that's bad. And then we go load, multi-selected objects, scale. Let's make it bigger. 0.2. Oop. Oh, that just didn't work. Okay, usually that works, but I guess with some pieces it just changes the gap. That's poop. Don't do that. There we go, fixed. Alright, so that's how you make buildings. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to see something specific? We've done terrain, we've done NPCs and editing NPCs. We've done... Oh! What else was I gonna do? I totally slipped my mind. Let me load a level I've already made, just so we can see if there's anything I'm missing. Load level. Harish. This is a small, kind of supposed to be like a necromancer desert community. I'm not worrying about lighting, because lighting can be very easily handled in the GM mode. You can change the mood, you can change the ambience and the music. Doing that in the toolset, to me, is just a little bit of a waste of time. So, these buildings are made with walls, and I used some platforms, which are just ground placeables as roofs. I just created them, made them bigger, and I placed them on top of the houses. Make it as a nice desert aesthetic, kind of low and cool feeling. Alright, doors, that's another thing. So, we want to place a door. So we have the door of our building created. Let's go back to the other one, shall we? Oh, level. Same as it is. Do not want to save. Alright, so we have this large doorway here. I don't know if there's a door that actually matches that model, but we'll find out. So, I'm going to search door. Ah, reason it's not showing up is we still have the filter. I'm going to right click to select all. Farm fence door. Let's do place new object. Let me refresh my stream here. I think I'm just told it's lagging a little bit. Sorry about the delay. Holy cow, that was loud. Alright. Again, if my mic is weird or my music's too loud, just let me know. Okay. Oops. So, let's find a door that works, shall we? Wait for the toolset to load. Oh! Are we crashing? No, we're good. So this looks not quite right. Nope. 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 Aha! That's the door we want. Look at that. So, door is an object. Now we're going to place it in here. I think that is slightly too high, so I'm going to click the door. Go to translate objects, and just bring it down ever so slightly. There we go. Alright, doors have a specific function assigned to them. If you scroll down, make sure you have the sidebar showing. The door selected. Scroll down. It says use actions. Go here. So I'm going to delete this one. You want to assign it a door function. So there aren't a whole lot of actions here. I'm going to go door and plus button. Secret door false. Action item on use. Apply. So when a player clicks on this, I guess the easiest way to show would be to go test. I'll move my lady over here. Let's move over to the door we just made, shall we? Yes, I know. And then we click on the door. Bloop. Look at that. A working door. Isn't that fancy? So, a problem is, our floor is still sand. We can absolutely fix that. Let's walk our pretty elf lady over here. The way you add a floor to a building, there are two ways. If you want to do something very specific, we're going to revisit our terrain options here. So we click terrain. I don't want that. We go paint terrain. I don't have any terrain added here, so I'm going to go back to my resource manager. I'll bring back over to this monitor. Let's do paving. I think that's the key word. Yeah. Paving humans dungeon floor. I don't know, just for demonstration purposes. Plus. Yes. Move this back over. So we paint paving. Oh, the brush strength is very weak. Let's make it a bit stronger. 5. So this is what the paving looks like. Alright, that's not bad. So this is one way you could do it. If you want to do a custom floor, something that doesn't exist as a different texture, you would do this. Paint on the inside. And this is painting directly on the level. So that's one way to do a floor. We're not going to do that. Right click to delete. Let's make this bigger. It's taking too long. Let's get rid of this. Alright, so I'm going to edit this wall object. Click sidebar options. Building layer. Oh, look at that. What does that mean? Material resource. Click. Little triple dots here. Click that. This is looking for a material type. Gonna add paving humans dungeon floor, the one we just did, as a terrain. And we're gonna choose the type. And we're gonna go floor. Now, why isn't that showing up, I wonder? Is the building in the ground? Is that the problem? Let's find out. Click. Click. What? Did I make duplicates? Holy moly. We don't want to do that. No, I didn't make duplicates. That's interesting. I'm curious why our floor isn't showing up. Floor height, floor inset, tiling, walkable, true. Do I have the wrong material type? Let's try a different material type here. Let's make sure we have the bottom floor. Let's choose something else. I'm gonna go floor. Oops. That's not what I want. 0. Back to my resource manager. Let's do floor. Paving. Castle house floor wood tile. Let's do that. So I have this selected in my resource manager. I'll go back here, click the green arrow, and I assigned it. Does that show up? No! How very strange. I wonder why. See, I got the floor to work in here, where I do the same thing. Just compare quickly. Stone wall, floor tile. Floor, walkable, yeah. That's very odd. Why isn't the floor working? What happens if I do roof? Does that add a roof? It doesn't add a roof. I'm very confused. Again, I've only been using the toolset for about 12 hours. Still learning some things. Let's try a different floor type, I guess. Used. Let's do that. Is the height wrong? 1? 0.5? 1? Oh, that's roof. Haha. Floor height. 0.5? Oh, why was it underground? That's very strange. Hang on, let's just set that back to 0. It's like in the water. How very odd. Alright. At 1. 0.01? Wow. Yeah, I guess it was just set in the ground. How very odd. Alright, so there's our floor. You might see some bits sticking out here. This is just from the way the wall works. I generally cover these up with furniture like a bed or a bookshelf. Let's do that actually. We're going to place object. We'll do book. Let's do shelf. Furniture. No, that's not what we want. Bar shelf. No. Oh, what about a bed? What? That is... oh. Not exactly the bed we wanted. Covered bed. Why not? Demonstration purposes. I'll stick that in the corner here. Click. Moving tool. Scooch that out. Let's rotate it. Up. There. Some of the walls have gaps between the floor. You can get... one kind of workaround is to make the floor inset. I don't know if you can actually do that. Negative 0.5. You can make the floor bigger. If you make the floor bigger too much, like negative 0.1, negative 1, it starts to bleed out of the house. So be careful when you do that. So let's just do negative 0.5. It's still within the wall. See, it's kind of sticking right up to the edge. Maybe a negative 0.2. Is that good enough? Well, no, still see some bleeding on the edge there. 0.25. Perfect. Alright, so we have a floor. Oh, we don't have a roof though. That's a problem. Let's do the top floor, roof. Set it to roof. Let's raise the roof height to, I think it's 3, 4 maybe? Is that 4? Ah, that's not working strangely. I will fiddle with that another time. There are toppers to these roofs. You can do, I think it's called top. Women, citizen, blah blah. Is this it? Oh, that's the case. Bar top, tower top, ruins top. Is there a roof option? Oh, chimney. Chimneys are objects. That is the wrong stone type. Tip. That's the one we wanted. Is that the right blue? Aha! There you go. Replace our tip. Click it. Make it a little bit smaller. 0.5. Is that going to be too big? Yep, that's too big. 4. Let's scooch it over. Oh, big thing I totally forgot to mention. When you're moving something, it might be a little weird to do one row at a time, but if you click the lines between the moving, you can do it both at the same time. So if I want to do up and down, I want to do left and right. So let's rotate this. Scooch that. Lower it. I don't think that's quite facing the right way. Right about there. Alright, still too big. 0.2. That's too small. 0.25? There we go. We'll choose red and blue. There we go. So that's one end. Copy. Paste. Rotate. I realize this is a lot of information to take in from just one sitting. I am recording this, so there will be room for review later. Is this a double-sided? Yes, it is. Do one of these. Probably need a couple, but you get the idea. So this is what, 0.25, 0.25. Scooch. Here. There. You'd essentially just copy that until you fill the roof in. Alright, so that's buildings, we've done terrain, we've done water, we've done editing NPCs. Is there anything else anyone wants to know before I start wrapping up? Ask now or forever be confused. I don't know. I don't have a floor here. Or a door, sorry. Any questions? This should be the basics to do some pretty decent areas. A lot of the areas in the GM mode that have already been made use a lot of these things. There's buildings, there's the terrain placeables, all sorts of stuff. I won't get into scripting or anything this time. This is just for the basics. Last chance for questions. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, one small thing I should mention. This is kind of I'm sort of a perfectionist when creating these areas, but lamps and light sources have generally built-in triggers, but if you ever want to edit that, I'm going to go to Resh, Select. So, for example, get rid of this terrain window. I have these lamps around this town. These Ronar lamps. They give off a light source on their own, but it wasn't bright enough. So, as an object, we do a lamp. And there are these Ronar lamps, which I ended up placing. However, one thing I did find was these. Where is it? Aha, see, it's got a little light bulb. Ronar lamp. It's this little circle. I'm like, well, that's strange. I don't know what that is. When you place it, and then you select it, it has a circle. This shows you the light radius. So this is a light object. So because I wanted these lamps to give off light, actually I wanted this obelisk here, this pillar, to give off its own light. So I created one of these, and when you click it, you get all the options. And I did light radius. Let's do 15. That's much bigger. Intensity, let's make it like 700. And you can choose the color of the light. I kind of want it to be an eerie green, so maybe something like that. And then you go ahead and move it and put it in the object you want. Is that inside my lamp? Yeah, so then that lamp right there, just by existing, will give off that light source. I already have these in all my lamps, so I won't save it. This is a small little outpost I already made. This road is just a terrain tool. I did the dirt on the outside. It's a different layer. Sand is a different layer. There's a smooth sand. The bones are also a different layer. The bushes and stones are the instance brush, which we went over, the instance painter. Wagon is just an object from the root templates list. This house was decorated. The reason I decorated the insides out of this house, even though it's not accessible, is because it's got this window here, and I wanted people to be able to kind of see inside. Cactus, some trees. I wanted to make it look as feasible for a desert location as possible. Otherwise, yeah. A lot of towns have clutter. If you want something to look realistic, I suggest just keep adding stuff. I mean, if you think of a village, they've got carts, they've got horses, they've got tools. People leave stuff out of their houses. You have like a broom leaning against a door. Like I've got this little thing of tools here, little containers. This guy's got a chair and like a little shop stall. There's rocks. Kind of an open space over here. I should probably add something. I don't know, what should I add here? Ooh, gravestones, that might be a good idea. Dwarven, what? Okay, dwarves, oh, BOD, building, okay, I was gonna say, like, that's not a gravestone. Graveyard stairs, no. Graveyard entrance, lizard graveyard, wow. That's fancy. Holy moly. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. Fences, shrines. I actually like this shrine. Let's do that. Let's add it right here. Select, rotate. Are there any bones? Can I just add like a pile of bones in it? Dead bone soldier. Bone pile. There we go. Do a bit of that. Let's do 2 of them. Rotate this one. Move it a bit. Let's go ahead and find some other stuff. A loot bone! Yeah. That's really disappointing. It's kind of the, I don't know what I expected if you open a bone pile and get a bone. Bone pile. Whoa! Hang on a second. That's a bit excessive, don't we think? Oh, you know what we can do? Ah, we'll use what we learned. God, I sound like a teacher. Gracious. Alright, so we'll do this. Let's delete this bone pile, that bone pile. Scale. Ah, we don't actually need to use that scale. We use this one. Scale objects. Click. Let's make it a bit smaller. And then we're gonna scooch and put it in here. Right over there. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. There we go. So we've got this pile of bones and our little... let's do a little walkway, shall we? Go back to our terrain tool. It's over here. Click my terrain. All my layers are already here. We want the soil, sand, smooth. Let's make the brush smaller. Kind of walk it over here. Like a little walkway. That's too small. Let's make it bigger. There we go. So that's one layer. Now the trick to making things look realistic and nice is just to add as many layers as you can. So we've got smooth sand. And we'll go back to our terrain tool. Let's do soil dry. But I want to change the weight of the brush. I'm just going to keep this pinned down here. Right click. Strength. Let's make it 2. Kind of broken up and taken over by the sand. I presume there's a lot of wind blowing here. So there's a little walkway. Let's do a little bit of the paving. Make it very small. I want it to look like a pathway that's used to be something primary, but now it's just sort of... Oh, that's much. Let's get rid of that. Maybe it looks a bit better leading up to it. I don't like this bit sticking out the corner here. Alright. A little weird walkway. Save. Okay, so yeah, decoration is just a lot of meticulous work to try and make sure there's no blank spaces unless you're intentionally going for like a plains or a farmland kind of area. We've gone over water, terrain, editing terrain. I edited out here, have like a hole. In the DM mode, I'm going to add fire here. That's the surface. Some broken pillars. I added some rubble on the outside with a broken piece of wall. You know, you just want something to be immersive. Because if this wall looks damaged, then there would obviously be rubble here. That looks like a little bit too much rubble for that, so let's lower it to make it less. There, slightly less rubble. Deselect. Alright. Well, there we go. And that's that. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to try. I will do this before ending the stream. Go to select my entire wall. Let me save before I do this. I might ruin everything in the process. Go to copy the wall. And raise it. Oh, hang on. Okay. So we've got a duplicate of our wall. And we'll do what we did last time. We're going to go to our root template. And I believe they're called tops. Human prison top? Is that it? Ah, see, there are walls that have toppers kind of that designed to go with them. Let's try this one. It doesn't really work. It's a different stone. Ship deck. Let's just do wall. Is it Renar? I think that's the one I did. Renar. Moss. Border? Is that it? Oh, there we go. Check that out. Heh. Heh. Oh. That's perfect. Oh, this section of wall looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Let's fix that quickly. There we go. Okay. Oh man. That makes me very happy. Can I change these sections with the mouse wheel? Ah, you can. How beautiful is that? Ah, I love it. I didn't know you could do that. That makes me super happy. Holy moly. Well, hang on a second. Does that mean we can do a different border? Whoa. Alright, that's not the one we want. Border. Oops, not border. Let's do Renar and border. Let's try this one. Ooh. I think I like that a bit more. Kind of makes sense. Oh, that's not right. Let's fix this. Oh, it doesn't have an alternate option. Alright, well, can't use that one. I'm gonna copy this so I can just paste it next time. That's unfortunate. What? Wow. I mean, if you just really don't want anyone on your walls, I suppose that's one way to do it. I guess that's the one we just chose, isn't it? So border A is more of the same. There we go. I like this one. Mouse wheel. Why isn't that working? Let's try a different border A. No? We had one that lined up perfectly. Nope, that's not it. That's also not it. Oh, there's trial and error. Can I just delete this section? Whoa. No, that's ruining everything. Don't want that. Let's bring you back here. Okay. We'll go back to the other one. I'll make it work somehow. Ah, I keep choosing the wrong one. There we go. Hey, look! Oh, it doesn't work. Can I just change the wall? Yes. There we go. That is good. Alright. Control S. Control S. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything. Thanks, guys and gals, I presume. If there's nothing else you want to know and or has any questions, I think I'm just going to end the recording here. Quick recap, we went over editing terrain, creating texture terrain, we went over doing water, adding objects with the instance painter, editing buildings, editing NPCs, all that kind of stuff. Alright, I hope this helped. This should just get you running for the basics. Feel free to play around. That's kind of how I learned. I just clicked and made messes and destroyed things until I kind of understood stuff. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you around.